All right. So we'll go ahead and get started here. Thank you so much for joining us. Um, I am Kyle Holmes, president here at Matrix Networks. Today we're here to talk about connection, the connective tissue between your unique companies and the customers we strive to serve and grow with. The connection we have to those we serve has always been the key to our broader success, yet too often it is overlooked, the tools are lacking, and worse yet, for many of us, the corporate strategy fails to address the changes in customer behaviors, like the desire for self-service, quickly texting or chatting for customers when they get stuck, and just being able to move through the cycle very easily. The results look like taking too much of my time as a consumer, my money, and my effort. It is our job as leaders of our organizations to build a better path for clients, reducing their cycles and effort, improving their experience, meeting them where it is most convenient for them, whether that be a call, a text, a chat, or stopping by the office. With the dramatic shift to digital communications, too many of us are playing catch up. In the following presentations, you'll see how technology is helping us address these gaps. But technology alone cannot solve these problems. It takes commitment from the organization to focus on these challenges, building process that fits with the technology to create a path for your clients that aligns with the company. So we're excited to share two industry leaders today in the contact center space. These companies are both born in the cloud customer service platforms. The cloud poses several distinct advantages for these types of tools. They give us the ability to adapt and change rapidly, testing new technology and new paths to communicate. They're highly scalable, allowing us to adjust for growth or seasonality. And they can remove the burden of managing these complex systems and infrastructure from our teams and allow us to focus on the core offerings and the people that deliver them. So with that, I would like to pass off and start this conversation with RingCentral and Matt Russell. And so I'm going to go ahead and pass the stick over to Matt and get out of the way. Thank you.
Hey, thanks a lot, Kyle, and thank you to each and every one of the attendees and taking time out of their busy day here to discuss, contact center and the customer journey with how we view the customer journey here at RingCentral. I'm the strategic partner manager here for anything and everything RingCentral as it pertains to Matrix Networks. As them being a premium partner of RingCentral now for going on 2 years running, we're extremely happy and very blessed to be a part of their go-to-market. With us today, I brought two major cogs in this wheel here at RingCentral. And first off, it's Cameron Halstead, who is the CX AE here that covers the West, as well as the Director of Product Marketing for our contact center, Mr. Max Ball. He's our national overlay here for RingCentral Contact Center. So I'm going to hand this over to Cameron here at this very moment. But once again, sit back, relax, enjoy. If you have any questions, by all means, please put them in the chat and we'll address them either real time or by way of chat. So thank you very much. All yours, Cameron.
You're still mute, Cameron.
Sorry about that. Am I sharing the screen or driving right now, or? There, just give me 1 second. Okay, great. Can everybody see my screen right now?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, so first things first, customer service should really be as easy as messaging a friend. That's something that I believe through and through, and it's our core ethos here at RingCentral. We really want to develop that relationship from end to end by making it as easy as possible for customers to interact with your brand. So the rules for customer engagement have changed, definitely. I mean, we're a year into this whole brave new world that we have here. And no longer are people, going out as much or, going into the store to finding out, which product they want. A lot of the changes that we're experiencing, they're mobile, they're at home. Customers are on their phone. So it's really important that the brands that we're talking to, that they understand, the dynamic shift of how customers want to interact with you, and make sure that they have the right communication channels in play. So whether that's over in-app messaging or SMS or a Facebook message, really solidifying those communication channels and letting them know that, hey, you can interact with us on the channel that's most comfortable for you, and we're going to be here to for you. Expectations have definitely changed across the playing field. 75% of customers believe that it takes too long to reach an agent. Time is precious. That's no secret. And you really want to develop a strategy that it's going to make it easy for customers to interact with you and highly efficient. Okay. 80% of adults and 91% of teenagers are using messaging apps. Now, this is something that everybody needs to take heed to, because that's really the way of the future. So it's really important that you make sure as a brand that you develop, your WhatsApp channel, or you develop your Facebook Messenger channel, and that you have the right resources in play to deliver high quality customer experiences regardless of the channel that the customer is interacting with you on. Okay. Customer experience is everything, and it's becoming more important as we move forward in the future. There are a lot of different options out there for service providers for different products. So it's really important that you tailor your experience and you deliver amazing journey from end to end, because the data is proving it right here. A poor customer experience for millennials and Gen Z, they're 5 times as likely, or they change their service provider or their product, up to 5 times a year based off a poor experience. So investing in that customer experience on the front end will continually pay dividends with that customer lifetime value that you'd be receiving. So this is one of my favorite slides right here. This really details out what a lot of organizations are struggling with today. They're kind of on this continuous path of consolidation and making sure that they have the right communications platform across their entire ecosystem. So a lot of organizations, they'll have a point solution for live chat. They'll be powering email through Outlook. They might have Hootsuite powering their social channels. So that really creates a disjointed experience for the customer. Obviously I want you as my company, or you as the product that I'm purchasing, to know who I am. What type of buying history do I have? What are my key dislikes, and what do I like? Don't make me repeat myself. Know who I am, and Matt Russell's going to dive into a bit of that as well too as we move forward. But I think with that, I would love to have Max talk about some of the experiences that we're delivering for Brightway Insurance.
Great, thanks, Cam. When we talked about preparing for this, we talked a lot about, we want a customer journey. We want to talk about what that looks like. And we decided, instead of just a generic, here's Bill, that we'd actually talk about a customer of ours. I'm going to talk super briefly about the experience for their customers, and then I'm going to talk in more detail about their experience as a customer of ours and the things they were able to enable. So Brightway Insurance is an up-and-coming insurance company. They have, you can see here, 289 locations, and by locations that means brokers. So they have, you don't call 1-800-BRIGHTWAY. You call your local broker, you build a relationship with them. That's how these companies market. They sell to the brokers and they sell directly to the consumer. So I have a relationship with my broker. Now, Brightway provides that broker their telephony services. So when I call my broker, I'll get my broker, and it's on a RingCentral call. That's what RingCentral does all day. If the broker's out playing golf, it's not going to just go to voicemail. It's going to go to the contact center centrally in the office, and they can answer my question a lot of times. Or if I want to set up a golf date, then they can run me back to voicemail. It's this seamless motion back and forth. It allows them to really open up some new businesses in terms of how they serve their brokers, et cetera. And now what I want to do is talk a little bit about, as Brightway adopted the technology, some of the things they learned and how they changed, because they just literally transformed their business, taking on RingCentral. So the first thing was they had just a very simple PBX routing to their call center, very limited routing, and importantly, very limited reporting. They knew they were crushed, but they couldn't build the business case to say, I need more agents. They thought they needed at least a dozen more agents, maybe 2 dozen. And finally, they got on RingCentral Contact Center, And pretty quickly, they got the data they needed to really start building the business case, but they didn't find what they expected. What they found was every agent every day just about had like a 2-hour phone call. So they went and started digging in, what's going on? Why are we getting these great big calls? And it turned out they're based in Florida, and they're expanding nationwide. And in the process of that, they were starting to get more and more calls about Washington, other end of the country from where they are. And the problem that created was nobody in Florida knew anything about Washington insurance laws. So there'd be some detailed question, and suddenly that became a 2-hour research project for the agent, and you weren't getting the kind of customer service that everybody felt the customer deserved, and it was killing them on agent productivity. So what they realized they needed to do was not hire a dozen more agents or 2 dozen more agents. They needed to hire 4 or 5, but they had to hire the right ones. They had to hire people who had the specific knowledge. And then they ran into, there aren't a lot of experts on Washington insurance in Florida. So what they had been thinking of doing as part of their expansion was opening a second data center somewhere out west. And in the interim, when they realized this, they had some urgency to get some people right away. So they got a couple guys in Washington, a couple guys in California, et cetera, and just had them work from home. And almost immediately they realized these guys weren't missing a beat. It wasn't a problem for them to be working at home. They could just completely manage that on their own with them working remotely. So because there were a lot of things they could do. They could use collaboration. We have Glip as our collaboration tool. They were able to use that to communicate back and forth. And then we also have meetings and the ability to do video meetings and have little team meetings at the beginning of the day, at the end of the day, check-ins periodically. And they really got to a point where these remote people just felt like part of the team. And through collaboration, what happened pretty quickly after that was they were able to take these guys who were experts on remote insurance, remote states, and access them through collaboration. So now if I'm an agent in Florida and I get a question about Washington, I don't have to go look that up. I can just send a quick message. I can get an answer right back. Maybe I got to transfer to the guy, but usually they could just do it through messaging. Now I'm driving first contact resolution. So the customer experience was much better. They weren't having to have the, have everybody in this thing. So think of the savings here. They didn't have to build a second contact center. They didn't have to hire a dozen people that they thought they had to hire. They're able to keep all of their communications there above and beyond just the contact center tools within the team, using collaboration and using meetings, et cetera. They were able to work remotely. And you can imagine, this was all pre-COVID, by the way. You can imagine how many companies we're working with now who have gone to that because, in 48 hours, you had to have everybody home. So it's a model that we see over and over, and it's something that we think is really valuable and really important to our customers. So Cam, with that, I think I'll go ahead and hand back to you.
Yeah, thank you, Max. And to build on what Max is saying right there too, with the point of collaboration and first contact resolution, that is very important when you're interacting with customers. They don't want to be, have to be called back or, change channel and go to an email component. So really this slide of what you're looking at right here, this is the whole reason why Max, Matt, and I joined RingCentral. That one-stop shop solution for all of your communications needs, both for your customers as well as for your employees. And I think when we're talking about, customer experience in general, that really can be segmented down to multiple business units, not specifically within the contact center, but, if you have a outbound sales organization or a collections department. So powering a lot of the automation on the front end to make sure that, you're using your employees' time to the best benefit of the company. We have a full digital customer experience platform as well too. And that's really the wave of the future. That's where we're really seeing a lot of adoption from customers, whether that's employing in-app chat, whether that's SMS or Facebook Messenger, Twitter, WhatsApp, contact us forms directly from their website. So, really want to plant the seed with you all here today on this call to really think about the customer experience journey that you're providing to your customers. And then go secret shop your competitors as well too. Go on their contact us page, see how they're interacting with their customers. Do they have a long hold time on their IVR? Kind of get a good lay of the land. And then, of course, the full inbound contact center on top of that. So ingesting all of the information directly from the phone calls, the emails, the chats, the SMS, and making sure that those communications are delivered to the correct agent with the right skill set to deliver a high quality care interaction. So market leading solutions, we are unified through and through. So we are our own telecommunications provider. We have about 27 data centers all across the world to power all of our communications. Company-wide collaboration as a whole. So whether that's over employee messaging, phone, video meetings, analytics, and the full contact center offering that you have here on the right-hand side of the screen. So omni-channel, if you're not thinking about that now, let's start to think about that and think about how we can consolidate, some of the disparate systems that you guys might have in place right now that aren't really giving you the visibility into what customers are interacting with you on and how you can potentially improve that journey. Implementing self-service IVR on the front end. That's something that's really important just as a cost-saving methodology for organizations. So making sure that they can access their account information or do a password reset or reschedule an appointment without ever having to interact with one of your agents and burn up that very costly time right there. Okay. Workforce optimization. So as you're beginning to scale up your organization, if you're going from 5 seats to maybe 25 seats or 25 seats to 100, this is really going to be something that you're going to want to look at from an organizational standpoint as to how am I going to manage that workforce that I have right there and make sure that that is tightly integrated with the communication solution that I have. So that's going to help you to schedule. That's going to help you to forecast. That's going to help you to see what customers are saying about you. It's going to pick up on the sentiment, the key words, and really kind of give the managers, the executives insight as to where there are areas for improvement within the organization, which of course is key. CRM integrations too. I mean, it's really important that you have that holistic view as to who your customer is and their buying history, their likes, their dislikes. So the ability to have that open API, which is throughout our entire ecosystem, that's really going to deliver that that high quality contact with that customer and reduce as much click friction as possible. You don't really want to have your agents opening up multiple windows, going into a database, sifting through, Google Drive. You really want to provide them a consolidated experience that's within the browser. And then of course, analytics on top of that. We wouldn't be anywhere today without our robust reporting engine that powers all of the contact center as well as the unified communications component of our ecosystem. And then I just want to touch on the overall financial impact of investing into your customer experience journey. We actually partnered with Forrester, of course, a well-known name out there. Then they interviewed 4 of our large contact center customers here at RingCentral to really dive into the actual ROI and the methodology behind implementing a contact center system. So I believe, within kind of the first couple of years of launching a system, 615% ROI based upon the consolidation of existing vendors into one single source. A 3-month payback time to some extent too. When you're onboarding that system and you're looking to save costs, that's one of the core components. So really, there's a majority of the cost savings are a reduced downtime, retiring those expensive legacy solutions, and really partnering with an organization that has active geo redundancy. So basically across our entire ecosystem, if one data center gets hit by a tornado or a tsunami, anything like that, the next data center flips on automatically, so that you have that seamless transition. You're not you're not a manager stuck out in the wind, trying to flip some levers to get your contact center back on. Those are all core tenets of our value proposition here at RingCentral.
Hey, Cam,
Yep.
I want to just throw in
Yeah.
one quick thought on top of that. I
Yeah,
think you're
definitely.
spot on, especially the no downtime, et cetera. The other place where cost savings comes in, this is one of the things that's exciting about having the right tools for a contact center, is agent efficiency, because 2/3 of the cost of running a contact center is the agents. In sales, you're getting more revenue when you're making your agents more efficient. In service, if you save 30 seconds a call, the savings for that just adds up and adds up and adds up. So, this is something we can share, with your customers or with you. And what you'll see over and over is agent efficiency goes up, which is a better customer experience, because now I'm getting my answer quicker and I'm getting away. And that also drives customer loyalty. So the ability to make it simpler and more efficient is really at the heart of what makes this ROI work.
You hit the nail on the head, Max. And Matt, I think this slide right here, through and through.
I do. Gentlemen, thank you very much once again for contributing here. And I have my own customer journey type of a story. And as a, it's no secret. I'm a veteran of 4 years, 2 months, 11 days, United States Navy. And you often associate being a veteran and going to one 4-letter acronym for your insurance needs, and that being USAA. And I had a pretty negative experience. And, we all brand loyalists out here. We all have a choice as consumers to which brands we interact with on a daily basis. And you would think, as a veteran, I'd have some brand loyalty to USAA, but it took one negative customer experience for me to move on and transition away from that organization for my insurance needs. And it was because of the lack of respect of my time, calling into a call center and getting transferred to a back office user that I had to restate my name, my last 4 of my social, my birth date. It made it extremely difficult in engaging with a brand like that. And that's a fundamental differentiator here within RingCentral, is that we're not only covering the contact center, the customer engagement component of your consumers, but are also facilitating your employees to be more proactive as well from an employee engagement experience. So I just wanted to leave you guys with that. I've since moved on to State Farm, by the way, for those of you who are curious, but I'm very happy once again for the time, as I know it's very valuable to each and every one of you. So thank you very much. Back to Kyle.
All right. Thank you to the team there at RingCentral. Really appreciate that. And next, we're going to go ahead and have the team over at Five9 come in and have a conversation. I'm going to pass that off to Alex or Eddie. Eddie. I knew I was going to mess that up. Eddie, you're on.
Unmute. You think I'd be good at this by now? Hey, thanks, Kyle and Brian. It's really good to be here today. I appreciate the Matrix team for helping us join today and putting this all together. I think there's a ton of alignment, not only with what RingCentral's message. Man, you guys really hit a lot of strong points. We're seeing a lot of the same things in the market. So I appreciate the presentation today. We're aligned a lot the same way, but what we wanted to do when we talked about that journey is what are we doing today, but also what are we doing in the future? So as we look at our customers, we really wanted to bring disruptive technologies, and we really wanted to empower them as an organization. And so, and what do we do? The contact center space has been here for a long time. There's a lot of mature technologies. So what do we do to disrupt it, right? How do we empower our customers to do more with less? And for us, the solution is artificial intelligence, right? So maybe I could start just a quick introduction to Five9 if everyone's not familiar with it. If I could introduce Five9 in one slide, this is it. You know, the old business adage of location, location, location has not changed. It just moves from First and Main Street to, you know, to a multi-lane, omni-channel experience, right? You need to be where your customers are. Five9 gives you that foundation, right? We give you the foundation. We serve as that front door for your customers, but we also serve as that foundation for your agents and your customer experience, customer service managers to also support their customers. And then along with that foundation, we also give you the ability for you to interact with those business applications, right? Your business applications supporting your agents or supporting your customers. So that's Five9 in a nutshell in 30 seconds or less, right? Now, today, as far as we're going along the journey, we do want to talk about incorporating AI tools. And you know, when we talk about the journey, why are we going on the journey in the first place, right? You know, table stakes today is we have a phone number, we have a website, you know, we have a social presence, you know, people are incorporating chatbots. You're able to communicate with your customers today, right? But what we're hearing from our customers is they're under a ton of pressure. They're forced to do more with less, right? How do you get more from that interaction? You know, a lot of our companies we work with, they tell us they can't continue to just throw more bodies, more agents at the problem, right? So let's bring in some technology. But some of the other things that we hear, you know, it's expense, you know, they're required to do more with less. A lot of our customers need to maintain or improve their KPIs, their net promoter scores. They need actionable reporting, pretty simple. You know, we see a lot of executives, a lot of leadership teams really wanting to deploy and push out AI tools and artificial learning, but how do you do that, you know, practically, right? In today's environment, you're facing instant customer reviews and really having a difficulty managing customer expectations, right? You know, the list goes on and on and on. You can insert your own topics there, but if you're doing what you're doing status quo today and you're not evolving into the future, you have serious issues ahead, right? So again, why is AI required? Why do you feel it's required? As RingCentral just mentioned, the return on investment, right? I was a little hesitant here to include this page. I even had a little note that said, you know, 1 virtual agent is equal to 10 physical agents, right? That's not the case. Everything's a little different. We can't just put a number and say this is what you'll return. It'll be your return if you do incorporate artificial intelligence or intelligent virtual agents into your environment. But man, this is where it begins, right? Looking to get a massive return on investing in artificial intelligence and intelligent virtual agents. You know, this one's interesting. You know, if we had a little more time, this is something that we really want to dig into a little deeper. But we're really trying to, you know, that journey, we're trying to find the right path for your customer. So, you know, sometimes an interaction is transactional. You know, I need to pay my bill. A lot of times it's relational. You know, I'm worried about making my next mortgage payment, right? So we're really trying to find the best, most efficient path, and then utilize AI to assist, to manage it, to handle the entire interaction, right? As far as, you know, those interactions, we really are seeing that we've passed kind of a tipping point. You know, self-service is here, self-service is here to stay. You know, there's lots of stats. I saw one today where up to 50% of US households have smart speakers. You know, this is just, you know, the adoption of people looking to utilize virtual assistant technology is just growing more and more every day. But there's kind of various paths, right? What Five9 has done is we really wanted it to be something that's practical. You know, we're seeing, and what makes it practical, right? You know, first we want to talk about tangible business outcomes. You see on my slide, there's that a robot from Japan. I don't know if all of you have seen that, but basically there's a waiter in Japan. I think it costs $2 million or something to develop, and it can bring somebody their Coke and their French fries, right? How practical, how soon are you going to see that at Red Robin? Anytime soon, right? When you're talking about having a practical solution, you also want it to be something that augments, that empowers your agents. You don't want something as, you know, just rigid, maybe help them do one pass, but it's not going to help them do anything else, right? And then we do see a lot of our competitors really struggling with bringing a product to market that's accessible and consumable. It would be nice if we were all just $6 million men and, you know, we can, you know, see through buildings and jump over buildings and all that other good stuff. But, you know, we really wanted to zero in and make something practical, consumable, and ready for the market. I'll let Alex get into this. He will do a bit of a demo, but it's really pretty simple on our side. We use our studio as kind of the technology abstraction layer, and man, we can achieve all kinds of things. We can do some data dips. We can implement a multilingual chatbot. All kinds of things. Another thing, the important thing is we're not looking to rip and replace your entire environment all the time. Maybe that works, maybe it doesn't, but IVAs are omnichannel and they can integrate with your existing infrastructure. I had this slide could actually go on for 3 or 4 pages, but what are some of the things that an intelligent virtual agent can do today? Well, it can make appointments. I would like to point out that it can do that 24/7, right? Track packages, send outage notifications. The use cases here are tremendous. We love talking to businesses. We love learning what their challenges are and see where we can implement intelligent virtual agents to help automate things. But that's not the end all, right? We do understand you can't automate everything. So we're also incorporating AI and machine learning and intelligence to actually helping the agent. So when you can't virtually automate, we like to assist. And so we'd like to talk to you a little bit more about Five9 Agent Assist and incorporating AI into those transactions, whether relational or transactional, but basically empowering your agent, your customer service team to their max potential, so to speak. And that's it. That's the secret sauce. We're using, as far as the customer journey goes, Five9 is using practical tools. You want to empower your agents, your customers, your leadership teams, and your business using practical AI tools and great outcomes. All right, that's it for me, guys. Alex, I'll swing it over to you.
All right, thanks very much, Eddie, for the great overview. So it is worth calling some attention to pieces of the holistic portfolio. So Eddie touched on the Agent Assist, which is a very powerful AI-driven component for interactions with live agents that can provide, real-time notifications, coaching, recommendations, ensure that they're staying on script, meeting compliance and so forth. Now, I'm not able to speak to that product in detail. Really, my subject matter expertise is going to be limited to the intelligent virtual agent side. So really, I'm looking at more of the automation components, and my time will be a little more product focused than purely kind of positioning or overview. But it should show you just the ease with which we can deploy new applications quite quickly and quite capably for our customers. And so we can take that type of iterative approach. Now, as Eddie pointed out, we do have the capability of supporting existing infrastructures. So maybe somebody's in a contract with their current prem or cloud PBX for another year or two, and they can't do a rip and replace. Well, we can still connect via SIP trunks or tie lines so that we can get the foot in the door with the intelligent virtual agents. And then down the road, if the contract is up, then there's an opportunity for a full Five9 contact center or another offering. Now, there's a couple ways of approaching these types of applications. So on the one hand, you have individual tasks that may be primed for automation. And so there we're typically talking about what are the most repetitive, mundane, potentially error-prone, boring, unfulfilling type of tasks, right? So as we've seen, that could be scheduling an appointment, sending appointment reminders, checking the status of a claim, filing a ticket, things of that nature, right? And so it's not just about ROI, although the ROI can be phenomenal, not only in cost savings of labor, but also software seats, but it's also about providing the optimal caller and customer experience. So that comes into play a couple ways. First of all, when it comes to looking up the status or authenticating a user with a PIN or a password or even a biometric voice print, it's just more efficient because the lookup can happen in a second via API call, as opposed to if you're speaking with a person. Oh, hold on, let me pull up my screen. Now, what's your account number again? Okay, and what's your name and your PIN? So it's just straight up faster and more accurate and less prone to error. And it also provides a more fulfilling experience for the employee because instead of spending their time doing authentication checks and password reset, by the time a caller comes to them, they've been pre-authenticated. The agent has a screen pop with the information presented right in front of them. And so they are ready to engage in the matter at hand, why the person was actually calling and why they need assistance in more of that high touch scenario. So it's not just ROI, it's a better experience for the customer as well as for the employees. So I want you all to keep that in mind when you're positioning these products. So today, maybe we'll go through a few different examples of how we can use IVAs to automate some or all of an application. So we can support voice as well as SMS or messaging and even chatbot tasks. And there is data sharing across the channels. So you'll see we can pivot from a voice interaction to a text interaction, and you maintain that context. And again, if the call or interaction does escalate to a live agent, they are provided the context. So they can see the transcript or the conversation or the intents leading up to there, so that the caller does not get frustrated having to repeat their information. Now, what we'll start with is a quick look at the task library. So the task library consists of over 50 pre-made applications that we have out of the box. We've developed these based on frequency of customer requests. So these cover a lot of recognizable things along the lines of satisfaction and NPS surveys, outage notifications, product recalls, VIP routers, snow day notifications, and so forth. So the one that I'll start with is going to be a natural language call steering. And I like to call this natural language light. And so the reason I say that is because we'll be using keyword spotting, and then in a few minutes looking at a full-blown conversational AI type of interaction. So for all of our tasks, really one of the values is that we have aggregated existing technologies. So we didn't reinvent the wheel when it comes to speech recognition or text-to-speech, but rather we're sort of standing on the shoulders of giants and we're leveraging the big tech companies. So when it comes to languages, we support over 100 different languages because we've aggregated Google WaveNet and IBM Watson and Nuance and LumenVox all in the same portal in just a pick list. So even within American English, as opposed to UK or Australian or Indian, we've got dozens of male and female synthetic voices. Of course, you've also got the option to upload standard WAV files. So when I click save, this is importing the task from the task library. And this one is just a simple front door for a call flow. So thanks for calling ABC Company. In a few words, how can I help you? So that's going to provide much more of that conversational experience that callers are becoming accustomed to based on their interactions with Siri, with Alexa, right? It's no longer just press 1 or say sales. And so here we'll capture their utterance, we'll transcribe it, we'll store it, and then we'll be spotting keywords. And anytime that we want to modify the keywords that are spotted, it's as easy as coming in here. So we could say, if somebody says sales or buy or purchase, we'll go down that path. So we'll give it a quick call.
Welcome to our company. How can I help you today?
I'd like to talk to someone about making a purchase. Can you help with that?
Transferring you to our sales department. Please hold.
Right? So a pretty vanilla type of use case, but going from a traditional press 1, press 2, DTMF, PBX, it provides that much more modern and flexible type of interaction for callers. And so that also brings us to a good point about how you approach positioning the product, is that on the one side, you could pick off those individual tasks like, oh, when they press 1 for a password reset or 2 to check the claim status, we could just automate that one task and you can branch off to us, or we can be the front door so that out of the gates, we're using that natural language to identify where they're trying to get and then directing them to the right place, even if it's an existing queue and so forth. Now, to showcase the capabilities of some of the other text-to-speech voices, I'm going to share a quick example that everybody can relate to this past year, and that is going to be like a buy online, pick up in store, or retail application. So in this case, curbside pickup, right? So you place an order, show up at Fry's or Target, and then you call when you get to your parking spot, and they're able to look it up and send it out. Now, this type of functionality allows smaller businesses as well as enterprises to have that same level of technical sophistication that callers are coming to expect, based on the industry standards that they're used to. So we'll give this one a call and then unpack it.
This is a demonstration of how everyday tasks, like curbside pickup, can be automated using an intelligent virtual agent. In this example, the customer placed an order online. When they pull up, a sign tells them what number to call. Using their phone number, we find their order. After confirming their parking spot, we update the status and notify the team to bring it out. Let's give it a try.
Thanks for calling curbside pickup at ABC Company. I see you're calling from 585-229-4683. Based on that, I don't see an order that matches. Please say or enter the 10-digit phone number associated with your account.
585-229-1646.
You entered 585-229-1646. Great news, based on your number, I found your order. If this is Sarah McDonald, press 1 or say yes. Otherwise, press 2 or say no.
Yes.
Great, thanks. And what spot number are you parked in?
I'm parked in spot number 7.
You said you're in spot number 7, is that right?
Yes.
I just let the team know you're here. Someone should be out shortly with your order. You can apply any coupons at the time of delivery. If nobody is there in 5 minutes, call back and press star to be transferred to one of our team members. Thanks for using ABC Company Curbside Pickup. Have a great day, goodbye.
Right, so it creates for a very smooth experience, and you can see that the text-to-speech voices are very compelling. Now, that was just out of the box. So all that we did was, type in what the prompt was and it spoke it back. It is worth noting that we do have the ability to really kind of fine tune. So if we need to change the volume, the emphasis, the pitch, how quick they're talking, or even how they say numbers and order numbers back, then we can manage all of that in a customized fashion right here from inside the portal. Now, you'll also notice that in addition to the text-to-speech and speech-to-text and decision-making capabilities, we've got RESTful web services built right into the portal, so that when we want to do a query and check the order status, or send a notification that the person's here to pick up their order, this is very much like Postman. So it's a no-code environment, but you can just include the URL, the authentication method, headers, parameters, send off the API call, and then it's got that web integration, and then you can map the payload back into the task for playback, for decision-making, and for logging purposes. So a really powerful kind of technology stack here to empower some really nice business applications. So as questions come up, feel free to put them in the chat, and you can feed those over to me. Otherwise, I'll keep going with maybe just 1 or 2 quick other demonstrations of some potential applications, and then we'll hand it back to the main presenters.
Alex,
so
this is great stuff, man. I actually would love to see more of this. This is exactly the type of visual representation of a customer's journey that we were looking for. So don't hesitate to utilize the time, my friend.
Oh, thank you much, Ryan. I appreciate that. So the next one I'll show is going to be the ability to capture multilingual interactions. So obviously it's quite common, press 1 for this language, press 2 for that, but what happens from there? And so as we move to a more dynamic interaction style where it's not just, okay, to check order status, press 1, for password reset, press 2, we want to enable that conversational style of interaction that's much more fluid in multiple languages. And so we'll be taking a look here at just such an application. Now this one is a really standard kind of banking bot where I'm just calling and then asking my account balance, and it's telling me how much money is in the account. But what I've done is I've actually wired it up with the international voices. So we've got Spanish, French, and Japanese supported as well. Now, a lot of times a business may have an employee who speaks the languages they want to support, and they can perform training of the natural language agent behind the scenes to ensure that it is doing what they expect. It's fulfilling the caller's requests. And that's something that gets better over time. I don't speak all these languages. I've got a little cheat sheet on the other screen, right? And so what I actually did was just leverage Google Translate. So we can see here in the canvas, when I'm speaking a language other than English, I take whatever they said, flip it to English for processing, return the response, and then flip it back to the native language of the speaker. And so even me, monolinguist, just English, I can make these tasks that support multiple different languages. So we'll give a quick call just so you get a sense of the multilingual capabilities, and then we will look at an interaction log to see what we actually said if you don't speak these languages. So sit tight just one sec.
This is a demo of multilingual conversational NLU. Press 1 for English, 2 for Spanish, 3.
En pocas palabras, ¿cómo puedo ayudarte?
Quiero consultar mi saldo.
¿Saldo para qué? ¿Ahorros o cuenta corriente?
Para cuenta de cheques.
Aquí está su último saldo, $800.
Gracias. Adiós.
Es un placer ayudar.
All right, we'll give it a quick go in French as well.
This is a demo of multilingual conversational NLU. Press 1 for English, 2.
En quelques mots, comment puis-je vous aider?
Bonjour, comment ça va?
Salut, bienvenue à Acme Bank.
Je veux vérifier mon solde.
Pour quel compte voulez-vous le solde? Épargne ou chèque?
C'est pour compte chèque.
Voici votre dernier solde, $800.
Merci, au revoir.
Bye bye.
All right, so for those of us who don't speak French or Spanish, I was actually capturing the interaction in a local log. And here we can see line by line from the bottom up what the caller said and what the bot said in both the native language as well as in English. So, quiero consultar mi saldo. I want to check my balance. Balance for which? Savings or checking? And then it translated and spoke it back in Spanish. Esto para cuenta de cheques, for the checking account, $800. Thanks, goodbye. And then we had the same type of interaction here in French. Bonjour, comment ça va? How are you? Hey, welcome to Acme Bank. Bienvenue à Acme Bank. Check my balance for checking, $800. So right there, that shows you, especially for those of you who have international customer base or branch offices in multiple continents, that they definitely have the capability of providing a consistent experience across multiple languages and different channels. So the last one that I'll share is going to be more of a true natural language interaction. And so this one is not directed, it's really open-ended. How can we help you? And this business, they wanted to automate some FAQs. So imagine you've got a destination or a resort where most of the employees are focused on providing an experience to the visitors who are physically on premise, but they keep getting phone calls. Hey, what are your hours? Do I have to pay for parking? Can I bring my dog? Right? And so much like a chatbot, they front end the interaction of all callers with an intelligent virtual agent, because that virtual agent may be able to fulfill many of the requests and FAQs, even booking appointments or scheduling activities. And then only if an activity or a question comes through that needs a live agent, do they then pass through the gatekeeper or the filter and get through to somebody who is on premise. This one's going to incorporate natural language. We can connect to many different platforms, whether it's Amazon Lex, the same platform that powers Alexa. We've also got Google Dialogflow, IBM Watson as well. So the key differentiator when you're using a true conversational platform is a fewfold. We're not just looking for keywords, we're looking for the intent of the caller. And a great example is this FAQ around COVID. So we provide some training phrases to get the ball rolling, and then we'll train it with actual production data based on what the callers ask for. So here you can see some questions. What are your health and safety protocols? Do you sanitize everything? Are we social distancing? Do I need to wear a mask? Are you following CDC guidelines? Right, so these are radically different ways of phrasing a question, but for this business, they're all basically the same question, what's going on with COVID? And so with that, then they can serve up a predefined response. They could add variations so that they get a little bit of a different answer for each caller, so it's always new. And then we do also have the ability to capture required parameters. So for example, when I want to book an activity, we need to know, well, which activity and how many tickets do you want and when are you coming in? So you'll see the ability to normalize relative time, as well as make some of these reservations and even pivot from a voice interaction to a multi-channel where you get a text confirmation. So I'll pull this task up and then call it, and that'll probably be the last one that I've got time for today.
Thank you for calling ABC Tourist Destination. I'm your virtual assistant. In a few words, how can I help you?
Am I allowed to bring my dogs?
You won't have to leave anyone behind. The grounds are perfect for walking your pets, but please keep them securely leashed at all times. Animals are also allowed on the outdoor patios of Bistro and Tanner's Tavern. However, pets are not permitted at any of the lodging accommodations on the estate, with the exception of ADA-regulated service animals. I'm still in training. Was my response helpful?
Yes.
Great. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
What's the weather forecast?
Here's the weather forecast for Asheville, North Carolina. It's currently sunny and 67 degrees, with 13-mile-an-hour winds. Tomorrow will be partly cloudy with a high of 63 and a low of 33 degrees. I'm still in training. Was my response helpful?
Yes.
Great. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
Can I make a reservation?
What activity? You can say Downton Abbey, afternoon tea, falconry, kayak, or wine tour.
Let's have afternoon tea.
Got it. And how many will there be in your party?
3.
Last of all, what day and time would you like?
Tomorrow at 2 p.m.
You said 3 tickets for afternoon tea at 2 p.m. on Thursday, February 25th, is that correct?
Yes.
Great news, I was able to book your appointment. Your reservation number is 334649. Again, that's 334649. Would you like me to send you a text message with your reservation details?
Sure.
Great, thanks. I see you're calling from 8469. To use this number, press 1, or say, same. To use a different number, press 2, or say, different.
Different.
Please say or enter your 10-digit mobile number.
857-205-3455.
You entered 857-205-3455, is that correct?
Yes.
I just sent you a text message with the details. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
No thanks.
Thanks for using ABC Tourist Destination. Have a great day. Goodbye.
All right, so there we can see it supports a really rich experience for the caller, automating a lot of things and providing value for the business. Last thing I'll share just before I wrap up on time here is going to be that the natural language agent gets trained to become better. And so with that, there's a couple pieces. You know, we have the actual audio recording of what the caller spoke.
What's the weather forecast?
And then we have the transcript as well as a confidence score for that transcript. So we can use that threshold to make sure that we think we've got what we need. And then we also have the intent, which is how confident is it that this is what they were asking to do? And obviously I've done this demo a bunch of times, so my agent is 100% confident that's what I wanted to do. And then last of all, within Dialogflow in this case, that we're using as the conversational AI platform, a member of staff would actually come in and validate the performance of the bot. So we've got the interactions. Am I allowed to bring my dogs? Was that the FAQ around pets? Yes. Weather forecast? Correct. If it was wrong, we could pick a different option from the pick list, or see that callers are asking for something we don't currently support and build out a new intent. Check the box, magic happens, and that's how the performance of the bot, the machine learning algorithm, gets tuned. So that's a little look at some different applications, leveraging intelligent virtual agents to both automate tasks as well as gather information, hand it off to a live agent so that they provide a better experience for the caller.
Thank you, Alex. Wow, that was fantastic. I really appreciate both RingCentral and Five9 spending their time today to come and join us. It's really a fantastic presentation and super interesting stuff. Obviously, you can see the impact these sort of technologies can have in your business. Our role in the process is aligning specific business needs, your specific drivers, aligning your stakeholders, doing a needs assessment, and bringing these solutions to market, and then making sure that what you define as your criteria is actually met as we go through the process. So feel free to reach out to us with any questions, and we can connect you and answer any of those. I know a lot of questions didn't come in during the presentation, but it's a lot to take in. So sometimes a further conversation is warranted to kind of understand how it would fit specifically in your business. I do want to bring up that we have a presentation on March 9th using Zoom as your enterprise phone system. I think all of us have been doing a lot of Zooming and Teamsing and all of these sort of things nowadays. So here's an opportunity to learn a little bit about what Zoom is doing from a phone perspective. So we're really excited about that. And then also just a reminder that if you attend 2 of our 4 sessions, this is session 3, that you will receive an invite to our bourbon tasting. It's going to happen at the end of March. Many of the folks on this call will also be there as well. And we're really excited to get some time just to get to know you and not be in the middle of presentations and education, and just chat and enjoy each other. So I hope to see a lot of you there, and I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy days to join us and learn a little bit with us. So thank you to all the RingCentral team and the 5 Nines team, and have a fantastic day.
Thank you.